crafters, Merry Christmas and welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and I hope you all are having an amazing Christmas morning, Christmas afternoon, Christmas evening, wherever you may be. I hope that you are enjoying the day and that Santa was good to you. Santa brought me a few surprises already this morning. And so I'm excited to see what the day brings and what's happening, what's going on. And I appreciate the ones that were able to join on this holiday quilting bee. So as you know, we try to do this every holiday with the exception of New Year's Eve. It's not necessarily every federal holiday. It's the holidays that I have. And today was all about just kind of finishing out a project for 2025, right? Because man, I don't know where the year went. It went much, much faster than I anticipated, which has just been crazy. And so we'll see. Let's jump into the chat if I can find my glasses and see who's here this morning. So Melanie was first in this morning. So good morning, Merry Christmas, Melanie. Thanks for being here. Hey, Janet, thanks for joining us. Alex is here. So wonder if she's got snow on Christmas morning or just a cool Christmas morning up out where she is. Katrina's here. Says Merry Christmas. Just pulled the sausage bread out of the oven and enjoying the traditional Christmas breakfast. That sounds amazing. We're having biscuits and gravy, biscuits and sausage gravy after the live this morning. So that's kind of become our tradition. Balloonist is here from down in Tucson. Good morning, Balloonist. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Joydy's here. Good morning, Joydy. Welcome in. Make sure I've got the right mic working this morning. I do, believe it or not. Sometimes StreamYard likes me and other times it doesn't. Joydy's here. Good morning, Joydy. Katrina. Oh, wow. A 40-year tradition. Look at you. You go, girl. Joyce says, Merry Christmas, John and everyone. Good morning, Joyce. Thanks for being here. Cheryl's here this morning. Merry Christmas. So be interested to find out if Santa was good to you. I was a very good boy this year. So Santa's been amazing to me so far. And yet more to come because we haven't opened gifts and that. We'll do that after the live this morning. But I did see a little sneak peek into a few things. And be curious to know what you all are working on this morning. I went a completely different direction because like I'm over Christmas. I'm over, trying to get things done at the last minute and all that. So I decided to look at what made sense for me to work on and actually looking at doing something a little bit different. I showed you all on Sunday, if you were able to join on Sunday, that I was able to get done with the first Tula Pink quilt top. So that's done. That's hanging over to be long-armed at some point. I can't wait to see what that looks like. And then took a couple of different directions. So I was off yesterday. I cut a bunch of fabric yesterday to start another project. It's actually one that I had bought off Matthew over at Mixed Domestic. And I had bought the pattern from him. Really liked the pattern, but it required a lot more cutting than I'm willing to do. So I actually found a pattern that I liked from AccuQuilt and spent the day literally cutting that. Even with AccuQuilt, it took quite a bit of time yesterday to get all of that cut. So that project is stacked over there. Then I pulled the prizes and that we'll be doing today. So I actually kind of put together a complete mix in a somewhat different direction maybe than what we normally do. Then I had started this project, which is another Tula Pink project, along with a few other things that I've got sitting aside. One of the things I did want to start doing is each month from Villa Rosa Designs, I would really like to start doing a pattern from them the next month. So December, obviously had 5 patterns. I selected the one I wanted, and I actually found the perfect backwater bundle yesterday. So I've not cut this and put this together yet, but I do know what I want to do. So the pattern that I'll be doing in January, I won't be doing it on live. I'll probably do it like on a Thursday evening. If you're all able to join, great. I'm not sure if I'll try to do it as a second live during the week or if I'll just do it as a recording. But I am going to do the Caledonia. I am not crazy about the fabrics that they picked for the front, but I really do like the pattern. The pattern is made and designed to do with 10 back quarters. And I actually found this back quarter bundle that I thought would just be perfect. And it's actually all in the pinks in that. So the pinks and the grays, it's called Gray Blush. It's Wilmington prints. It's back quarter gems, is what they call them. Yeah. And let me see if we can't open this a little bit to show you a better take. But it's all in these pinks. And I thought, how cool is that with the pink, the gray stripe, the checkered, whoops, gray polka dots. So just a whole selection of pinks and grays in that. This actually has 12 back quarters in it. I only need 10. So I'll probably take out 2 of the whites because I do think the pink and gray is what's really going to make this pattern and make that jump. So I'm kind of excited about that for January. So it's nice to know I've actually got that one set aside. So again, right, I shop and put patterns together and all that faster than I can just quilt. So we'll get it figured out. We always do. All right, let's go back and see who joined since I've just been rattling on this morning. So Alex says, no snow, just foggy and cold. Yeah, I woke up this morning, it was raining again. And guys, we get like 5 days of rain a year. So we've had more rain in the last month or 6 weeks than we normally would have um, in the entire year. And actually, they were talking about because obviously we live in a desert, we're always in a drought mode. And they were talking about we've had so much rain this year that is it helping us catch up? And the answer came back that no, not really. It really isn't making that significant of a difference for us. That there's still a lot, we're still very far behind in the water saturation that we need to the extent that it would have to rain like 30 days straight for us to finally get back to where we need to be. But I don't know. I have no idea how they'll address that at some point and what they're going to do. And I probably won't be around to see it, so it won't matter. Katrina says, my granddaughter fixed her first sausage bread yesterday for their Christmas Day early. They're driving to Tennessee today. That sounds exciting. My son's over in Tennessee. He already texted me Merry Christmas this morning. Hey, Julie, welcome in. Thanks for being here this morning. Hey, Danielle, we got Danielle in the house. See, that tells you how special my channel is when Danielle shows up. So Merry Christmas, Miss Danielle. Thanks for being here. Who else? Who else? Jody says, yay, giveaways. We always have giveaways. You know I like doing giveaways. And it's Christmas, right? So you have to have some Christmas giveaways. Um, Alex says their Christmas will be a little late for them this year, but we will be with my in laws and that side of the family later tonight. That's always fun. It's nice when you have family to be with and that. My family is Mama Jan in Mama Jan is making ham for us today with a bunch of fixins. I actually made peppermint cheesecake last night, so we will take a peppermint cheesecake. And then my partner is making green jello salad that we'll take as well. So we're excited to get to spend some time with her. And it's nice that we got off the hook and that we're not cooking a holiday meal. So we did Thanksgiving. She asked if she could, she volunteered to do Christmas. So we were very happily pleased to let her do that. Jody says, I love pink and gray together. I do too. Interesting enough, my daughter was a real teal fan. So she did a lot of teals and grays, but I've always liked the look of pink and gray. And of course, I forgot that I even had that fat quarter bundle. So yesterday, when I was looking through to see what I might use, that just really jumped out at me. And to me, that would have been such a much better picture for them to have used on this pattern because I just don't think the what they chose to show really shows off the pattern as well as it could be, and that's probably my biggest gripe with Villa Rosa. I think they do some amazing patterns, as you all know. I do a lot of Villa Rosa patterns, but it is what it is. Alex says, "Love that fabric." Hey, Katie Crafts is here. Good morning, Katie. Thanks for being here this morning. Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for being here this morning. Jackie's here. Good morning. And Merry Christmas to you. Katie says, we really need rain or snow in Denver. It's just so dry. Yeah, it's been interesting. I don't it's just we've had a lot more snow this or snow. We've had a lot more rain this year than we normally get. And of course people here have no idea how to drive in it because and that's what kills me, right? That most of them that have moved to Phoenix came from the Midwest, they came from the north, where they're used to dealing with stuff, but like they completely forgot about that when they get down here. Plus people here just drive so fast. It is just it's scary. I'll be out on the interstate, watch and have someone fly by doing 80, 85 miles an hour on a 6 lane road, right? So we have 6 lanes across. They're driving 85, they're flying by people, and you can look, they're texting or putting makeup on. It's like, really? I mean, like, that's why I like Waymo. When they talk about driverless cars, I'm okay with that because I actually feel like I should take my chances with them. Joyce said the fog was so bad she couldn't see the house across the street. I have not seen fog like that for a long time. We very seldom get fog in, really don't ever get fog in Arizona. Brian's here. Merry Christmas, Brian. Thanks for joining this morning. Danielle said, you're silly. Of course, you're special. You're an amazing person. I love Danielle. She's my buddy for sure. Mama Jan's here. Good morning, Mama Jan. We already talked about you this morning. Um, Jody says the white will be a nice complement to the pink and gray. I agree. It does need some of the white, I think, to help break it up. But of the two color, you've got the pinks, the grays, and the whites, and two to give up more of. I think the white makes sense. Or I may do a white and a gray. We'll see once I get it laid out. Hey, Russ is here. Good morning, Russ. Merry Christmas, Happy Thursday, and all those things. All right, I think I'm caught up. Katie Craft says it's going to be 700 degrees today. That's crazy. So I'm sure she meant 70 degrees, but that's okay. Yeah, I think here even though we've had the rain this morning, which is crazy. You see what our expected high is to, yeah, we're only expected in 70s today. So we have been in the upper 70s. We've been in the 80s where I've actually had to run the AC, but right now we're only expected in the 70s. Nice. Oh, look at Balloona. She said, hey, Russ and Riley. She's so good. Jay says, love your shirt. Thank you. I always try to be festive. I'm normally more festive. I have lost half my Christmas shirts. I have no idea where we boxed them, put them, or what we did with them. So we will have to watch post Christmas sales and stock up on some additional shirts for next year. I literally probably between t-shirts, sweatshirts, bowling shirts have probably over 40 Christmas shirts alone. and this year I barely got 20. So I have no idea what happened to the others. I have gone through my storage unit. I've gone through every closet in this house. I've gone through all the storage crates and that. I still believe they're here somewhere. I just can't, for the life of me, we just have not pulled the right area to find them. Hey, Stitching Life Together, Amanda, good morning and Merry Christmas to you. Sweet Granny says, Merry Christmas, everyone. She is busy sewing. Look, she's being productive this morning. I plan to be. I'll show you the project I started working on. Um, Alex says they were in the 50s yesterday, and then right now they're 32. So yeah, you're kind of like us. We're dropping down low. Low for us is 50s, right? Or even upper 40s, depending on where you're at. But then we bounce right back to the 70s, and that it's amazing to me how we take a 30-degree swing a lot of days. All right, so what am I working on? I am working on, so I actually got out the Go Cube and cut out what they call the lathe tool block pattern, LATHE, lathe tool block pattern. And I wanted to do something with, of course, Tula, because I got motivated after I started with the other Tula. So that is what I'm going to be working on this morning. So let me show you a couple of the squares that I have been able to get done. And so this is the first one. So I really like how this is turning out. I think this is going to be so pretty when it gets done. So there's two of each pattern is the way this pulls together. This one really turned out amazing because I was able to get the lion's head look. How cool that was. What's funny is had I used the pattern that I bought specifically for this, um, I would have lost all the lion heads in that. And so it just really, when I look at the pattern, number one, I didn't want to do all the cutting. And then number two, it was much smaller strips than that. And it was like, well, if I do what you want me to do, I'm not going to end up with any of the animals in the pattern to really show up. So some of the blocks they show up better, others they don't. But see, like even here, I was able to capture the hippo, and I did not fussy cut these because I am not big into the fussy cutting. I do have a couple that I'm going to have to fussy cut, um, for other reasons, but I did not fussy cut any of these, and I just simply put those together. So get set up here so we can work and get some of those going this morning. So, because I really do like these, I really like the way these are turning out. I think this is going to be really cool. See, look how cool this one turned out. This one cut out perfect for the elephant. So I think this is going to make a really cute quilt once I get it done. So I am excited about that. Right, that goes with that, and that goes here. Amanda says, still drinking coffee by the tree. We'll be sewing soon as I need to finish gifts for my girlfriends before Monday. I get that. Oh, Cheryl says, raining and high wind advisory in central coast. Yes, you all are the ones causing me all the problems, right? That's where all this is blowing in from California and that. And California was, they were showing it on the news yesterday. It was getting hit really hard with a lot of these storms and that, which is just seems crazy to me this time of year. I haven't looked to see what my daughter's getting. She's over in Virginia. So I usually watch her weather. So she's 45 this morning. She's supposed to go to 65, but they've got rain today. And then my son, all the way over in Tennessee, see what he's got today. I didn't realize I hadn't saved his. He's 60 going to 67. So I know he's happy this morning. So he's just got sunshine in that. So it's so crazy the way the weather's working across the country in that, like, right? Because some of us are getting really hammered with storms and snow and all that, and others are just having, we're actually setting records, heat records in Arizona. So we set them in the summer, and now we're setting them in the winter time. So just crazy. Some of these together, work on that. So I would be curious, what are you all working on today? What are some of the patterns that you're chasing after? I would love to see. One of the things I was watching on YouTube this morning, someone popped up, was making pot holders. I was talking about the fact that we never replace and make the pot holders and that. And I had bought the heat resistant batting for the not placemats, but the casserole mats that I made earlier in the year. And I thought, you know what? I think next year for work, for Christmas, that is going to be what I make everyone is a set of pot holders. So I just have to find the right pattern in that I want to work on. But we don't, right? We do forget about replacing them. And interesting enough, when I gave the mug rugs out this year, my boss goes, "Well, I thought it was a pot holder. I'm going to use it as a pot holder." Well, you can, but it doesn't have the batting and that in there for that. But that's what made me think, okay, well, that might be a really cool gift next year. So I know it's funny to talk about that on Christmas morning. You're talking about 2026 Christmas, but guys, this got here so fast this year, right? I mean, so if I don't start thinking now about next year, I'll never get it done. Yet I still have Christmas in the other room to open, so I am very excited for that. My partner did an amazing job for me so far this year. He's bought me some really cool stuff. So that has been fun. It's always fun just being here and hanging out, right? Jordy says go be mid 70s today. See, just crazy. Oh, Julie says, which pattern are you doing? This is a this is a AccuQuilt pattern, and it is called um, Lathe, Lathe tool block pattern. And it is one that I grabbed off their site because I just wanted to have something different. Lenny says it's strangely warm in Illinois today, right? It seems weird for me for Christmas. I'm finally getting adjusted to Christmas being warm. And I like it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely like it. But, in my mind, I grew up with Christmas being cold. So it's taken me a long time to kind of get used to having warm Christmases, which is what I would have liked my entire life. And then it's interesting to talk to Russ because for Russ growing up, Christmas was typically the middle of their summer. And so he was used to a very hot Christmas. And then moving to the US, especially Virginia, Christmas there can be anything. I have had Christmases there that have been 70 degrees easily. And I've had Christmases there that were 25 degrees with 18 inches of snow. Now, granted, where we live down in the Roanoke area and that was very unusual. And you typically never got snow in before the new year. Rarely did you ever get snow in the fall or in December. Interesting enough, though, my grandkids, where my daughter is in Virginia, have already missed, I think, 5 days or 6 days of school because of snow. So, it just, the weather patterns have definitely changed and they're definitely strange this year. So, you just never know what's going to be what. See what else we got going on. together. I really, of course, I love Tula, but I was just ready to do something very vibrant and something outside the red and green. I did finish my granddaughter's quilt top, so she's getting the potato chip Christmas quilt that I made. So it's kind of that scrappy looking quilt with a bunch of stuff. It's queen size. I ended up putting a 5-inch, I think, border around it to help um, pull it all together. But that will be her pre-Christmas gift next year. So now we just have to get it quilted and get it the binding done on it. So I've got all summer to do that. Now what I've got to do is figure out what to do for my grandson because I want to make them both Christmas quilts. I'm going to make them both queen size with the intent that they can grow up and grow with these. She's 8 and he is 6. So it'll be a real opportunity for them to have them hopefully for a long time. But hers, eh, when I started that potato chip quilt, I did not think about who it was gifted for and that it was something that I wanted to do right for one of the other holiday quilting. But once I decided to give that to her, I realized I need to make one for him. So now I need to go back and kind of search the patterns to see, can I find one for him? And then I got to figure out what I want to do. So I may do something more out of like a layer cake and dice up a layer cake and do his that way because I like for them to have different ones. And I could either also do a charm pack, but a charm pack's going to require a lot more sewing. But we'll see. I don't. I've got a while before I start on that, but I know me. If I don't start on it by February, March, it will not be done in time for Christmas. I definitely have to work out, and it's kind of interesting because we had that commercial embroidery business back in Virginia several years ago, and it was funny. I was so used to with the retail right that we always had to be 3 to 6 months out and so by Christmas in July, we were knocking out all the Christmas stuff, right? Because I needed to have it on the shelf in September. And especially people needed to see what options they had in order to place custom orders in that. And so I'm just, my mind works that way, anyways. Jody says, I'm working on being a slug today. I love it. I tell you what, I definitely I was excited to jump up and get ready for Christmas, but then when I thought, oh, I got to take a shower before my live, I got to do my hair, I got to do that, and I was like, oh, I think I just want to get back in bed. So fortunately, we have the whole weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We don't have any real plans over the weekend. What we will spend the next 3 days working on is the quilt retreat, right? So I have yet to finish. I've got the first goodie bag assembled. In fact, it's Mama Jan's. And so I've got her bag put together as the template for all the other bags that need to be put together. And then I've got to figure out how we want to place that, so I've got all that to do. And I've got my first Sam's ordered to be delivered tomorrow so we can start getting that stuff ready. So, because it's hard to believe, guys, next Wednesday, I'll be doing a quilting retreat, our first, and I'm really excited and super stoked about that. So we'll see how this one goes, if we're going to keep the other one scheduled or what's going to happen. Oh, Amanda says she's making casserole carriers. So I ended up making just like the casserole size placemats or hot pads, right? Is what I ended up sending my kids in that, and that's what I put together. I really would like to do a casserole carrier. I've got a couple of patterns for those. I ended up not getting those done or even doing the first one, but that is something I would like to work on too. Baluna says she's binding and embellishing a quilt. How awesome! It always feels good to get to that stage, right? I've got the one Christmas quilt over there, so I've got the binding. I got this far with the binding. So it is on my binding spool. It's been ironed. It's ready to go. But that's as far as I got with it. And I really don't like doing binding on live because I need all the room to work, right? And so I don't try to do that during a live. And I do machine binding. I'm not doing hand binding. Oh, Brian's doing a dog bandana. I have yet to do any of those. Of course, we don't have dogs, right? So it makes us not as inclined to do it. Julie says setting sashing strips for Kona Block of the Month. Quilt Meets World has been hosting us so long. Yes, I tell you what. Um, Russ has been doing a lot of different things this year. I need to figure that out. He's always got some exciting things to do um, and going on. So that is always fun to see what he has happening. Julie says, Jackie says, finishing up the Rainbow Star from Cotton Cuts. The girl wants it in their room. They love the bright colors. Oh, I bet. I like Cotton Cuts. I have yet to do much with them. I did buy because Sean was talking about some of the gnome kits that they had, and I ended up buying those. I got the first one about halfway done, and that's as far as I got. So that will end up back on a project at some point. I found in the closet in the office now is where I store all my AccuQuilt and all that. But I keep thinking, why is the bottom shelf empty? And the bottom shelf isn't empty. It's full of art bins. There's 8, I think, art bins down there, and all 8 are full of projects that have been started in that but not completed. So I definitely need to pay attention there and do some work there as well. Danielle says, I did not get my youngest son's quilt done in time. On the upside, it'll still be a great present when it's done. Absolutely. I ended up shipping all of my children's stuff late. So they're not getting it till next weekend. Supposedly, I typically ship post office, but because these were bigger, heavier boxes, I shipped UPS. My partner dropped them at UPS, dropped them in the bin, and didn't stand in line for 20 minutes to wait for them all to be scanned in. We dropped them off last Friday, and when I checked again last night, um, there's no tracking, no nothing on them. He did go back to the store to look, and the boxes are gone. So I don't know if someone just chose to take them home. It's just amazing to me that it's been almost a week and that there's no tracking information on there. And of course, UPS says don't bother calling us because we can't tell you any more than what you're already seeing. But if you want to file a claim after 7 days, you can. So I can't do anything really till Monday. Or you can go back to the store and ask the store, and I can tell you we don't have the nicest UPS store here in the compound. It is an actual UPS store, but the lady that works there is probably one of the crankiest people I have ever been around. I mean, she has no customer service skills, and my bet is she's the one that owns the store probably. So another reason we don't try to do there too much. Alex says, just working on my birthday wish list as of today. I have 1 month before her 52nd, hoping to get back into quilting, sewing, since I am starting to feel a little bit better now. That's awesome. Glad to see you're feeling better, but glad to see you're feeling even better to the point that you're ready to get back into things. All right, so let's do the first giveaway, guys. 7:35. Sorry, got to have a little coffee. I've only had 2 of these this morning, and usually by now I've had about 6 of those. Um, I did mix up prizes today, so some are kind of spring and summer, some are winter Christmas. So I thought, well, I don't want to just ignore Christmas on Christmas Day, right? But yet again, we don't want to do who wants a lot of stuff for Christmas when Christmas is over. But I thought, they can do it next year. So I wanted to try to do some things different than we have done in the past. So the first giveaway this morning is a winter panel, and this is by Wilmington Prints because I love Wilmington Prints, and this is called Snowy Tidings. So it's a winter panel, not necessarily a Christmas panel. Oh, let me go back on camera so I can see. And so this is a Snowy Tidings winter panel, and it's in the reds, the blacks, the grays. I love this red because it's that um, it's not that fire engine red. It's more of that deep, deep dark red, which I think is really cute. And of course, I love snowmen, so that's what attracted me to this panel to begin with. And I love to be in the choir and caroling, so I thought that was cool too. So that is our first giveaway this morning. If you go over in the chat and do exclamation point panel, PANEL, we will do our first giveaway this morning. And then guys, for any of you that are new to the channel, we are not sponsored. I do have some affiliations. Those are down in our descriptions in that. So we do have an affiliation link with AccuQuilt, Fat Quarter Shop, and Juki Junkies, because those are the businesses I support. Those are the ones that chose to kind of partner with us. But all of the giveaways and that come out of my pocket. The shipping comes out of my pocket. These are things that my partner and I choose to do because we think it's cool and we enjoy giving back. So just FYI, it's interesting. Every now and then I'll get a comment email about some of the giveaways, and I was like, sorry that didn't resonate with you, and sorry you didn't like what I chose. But it's just interesting to me at times, the feedback that people are willing to provide. And that's okay. We all have our own opinion. I am just one of those people that choose to be happy in life, and I'm just ignoring the silly anymore. I used to say the ignorant anymore. I just say the silly because people are just it's just funny the way people are nowadays. All right, so exclamation point panel. We'll give it another minute, and then we will go out and um, do our first giveaway. So Blessed by Jess is here. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us on Christmas morning. Very much appreciated. If I've missed you and did not call you out earlier, it is absolutely not on purpose. It's just I do learn going back and forth gets to be a little bit more challenging at my age than I would like to think so, but it is what it is. All right, let me take a drink of coffee, and then we will do our first, find our first winner. All right, let's choose a winner. Julie Kuhn is our first winner this morning. She won the giveaway. By the way, this is all picked by Nightbot. I don't have any. I push a button and Nightbot decides who the winner is. So, Julie, welcome. Thank you. You are the winner this morning. If you would send me an email in the subject, put panel, and send me your address, and I will get those. But don't get it in the mail tomorrow. I'll hopefully get it in the mail Saturday. But we will get this out and over to you. My email address, hopefully, is scrolling at the bottom, and it is John, JOHN, at guyscraft2.com. So look at that. We're already, already into the halfway through the first hour, guys. It's just amazing how time flies in that. I do want to look at getting some guests on the channel back and starting the first of the year. I'll be honest, things just got really crazy for us. with Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving, everything else going on. And so I want to get Zaza on definitely, right? Alex and I have talked about it, but I've just never been able, just had things booked up. And I'm trying to get to the point where I do one or two guests a month and not guest all the time. So I'll be reaching out the first of the year to try to start working on that and adding some more variety. But also, I'm a little selfish too because I enjoy my channel. I enjoy having the chats. Russ and I haven't been on together for quite a while, and we like to be together every so often. Danielle and I did Dooby Doo. We did Halloween together, and so it's just I tell you, time you make the circuit around. I had I know my partner thinks I'm absolutely crazy because he comes home and I don't know why. It's interesting. I grew up with televisions in every room, and when the kids were home, we chose um, not to have but one television, I guess, really. So we didn't have that many TVs. Now I have TVs in every room of the house again. And he comes home, and at least three of the rooms have YouTube going on, and he never has any idea what it. Of course, it's all different YouTube channels, so it's kind of cool depending on what room I'm walking in and out of. I catch bits and pieces of different YouTubes, and then um, the other because YouTube will only let me stream three at a time. Then in the other rooms, I've got Hallmark going on. So you got the Hallmark Channel Plus in a couple of rooms. You've got YouTube in the other rooms. And I know sometimes he just shakes his head and goes, "Okay, at this point, it's just noise." And I'm like, "Well, it is." And part of that is I need the noise in the house. I enjoy. Um, I need the talking. I need the background in that. And so that's always a big part for me. You follow the channel, you know I'm a big ironer. Got to have everything pressed clean. Yesterday it was funny. I went to cut all those fat quarters for the other pattern that I'm working on with AccuQuilt, and because they'd been folded for so long in that, I had actually got the Laura Star out yesterday and steamed all of those. But sometimes I like the dry iron, sometimes I like the steam. So I definitely bounce between the two. I think part of it probably depends on my mood too. Lord, you never want to try to figure out where that is. And I will say, I was a little disappointed for Christmas morning. I thought it would have really been cool if I could have announced on the YouTube channel this morning that I was going to retire and just walk away from everything since I just won the $1.7 billion. But apparently, one person in Arkansas had that winning ticket. So I will get to go back to work on Monday and continue down that journey for a while. Um, so I'm very happy that someone won it. Just a little disappointed it wasn't me. Thought that would have been cool. But how cool that someone won that on Christmas Eve or woke up to that on Christmas morning. So it was only one ticket. So it will be interesting to see if that was a you know company ticket, right, or if it was just an individual that randomly grabbed a ticket and now they're a billionaire. Um, a while, gosh, probably about 10 years ago, one of the companies I worked for, um, our payroll lady actually did lotteries for us, and we never won much of anything, but it was interesting. I think we she bought 20 or $30 worth of tickets each week. She managed it so well, kept everything on a spreadsheet and that. And then she would email me every so often to say, "Hey, I need more money from you." And so, because what I would do, because I didn't want to be bothered, is I would just give her $100 at a time. And unfortunately, when she retired, it was funny. You could tell it was a lot of work because nobody wanted to be bothered with it. So nobody took that up. But That's the last time I was in a real lottery pool. But I thought that was kind of cool. But exciting that someone did finally win it. Just disappointed that it wasn't me. And Joydy, can you imagine if I had won $1.7 billion? Do you know how much Tula Pink? I could have like an entire Tula Pink room. I wouldn't need a couple, three drawers anymore. We just have an entire Tula Pink room. And then we'd definitely be showing off. We'll see how that goes. All right, let me put these two together. I get to talk and forget what I'm supposed to do. All right, so that one goes, these two go this way. These two go this way. I should do that one that way. Do these two that way. Do this way. These go on this side. This side. And those go on that side. That side. Cool. Oh, Gene says, John, I like the Missouri Star Quilt videos. Thank you. Gene, I appreciate that feedback. I really do. I know there's a lot of us content creators out there doing some of those and that. So knowing that there was someone out there that did appreciate that work. I thought it was a really cool box this year. I'll be honest. I don't think that's a box I am going to get again next year. Actually, I thought of the 3 or 4 boxes that I've bought from Missouri Star, I thought this one by far was the best. I thought it was really cool that she incorporated, like on day 24, giving us the African bowl, and the fact that I think she said, I can't remember now if it was 8 or 10 villages had to help make those to get, to get a sufficient quantity and all that. I think that's awesome. I think it really speaks to Jenny and the Missouri Star Quilt and some of the outreach and things that she's done. But at the same time, it is a box that has some of the hand quilting, hand embroidery, other things in it that doesn't interest me, which is fine because, right, we have a yard sale at the quilt club. I can put that kind of stuff in. I can always gift it. It's not like we don't do these holiday quilting bees where you might see some of that come up as gifts and that. Um, so it's not a knock on Missouri Star Quilt at all. I really like Missouri Star Quilt. I think they offer us a lot of education, a lot of support as creators and that, as quilters. It's just I have to decide where can I really, where does it make sense for me to spend my money and invest, and what's going to give me the best return. So that's why I am probably not doing theirs again. Oh, Amanda says I'll be going live again more. I miss them. They're so much fun. No, I agree. I agree. By the way, guys, if you all have a channel and if you all have lives and that coming up, if you hit !selfie, Sean or Shannon over showed me how to do that. So hopefully that works and you can put your own channel in there for me. That would be great. Katrina says, I'm back. My Secret Santa was too good to me. That is awesome. So maybe you were a good lady this year too. It helps when we've been good. I like to think, I kind of enjoy the naughtiness, but I think the level of naughtiness has changed, right? So we're much more tolerant about naughtiness than we used to be, which is fine because I tell you what, some of the craziness I see on television is just absolutely wild nowadays. I watch the news and see what happens down in Phoenix and that, and I'm like, ah, there's no reason I would ever leave the compound. And yet, literally across the street, diagonally from me, we had a murder suicide. Um, a couple of months ago here, I came home from work and found cops everywhere, probably 30 police, a SWAT team, helicopters. It was just crazy. And I'm like, guys, I live in a retirement community. But apparently, the um, guy that offed himself and apparently was dating friends with one of the neighbor ladies, and they think killed her, and then went home and did the same to himself. And man, you just don't know. You never know anymore. Jody says you could have bought Tula Pink's warehouse out, right? How cool would that be? Just call Tula and say, "Hey, I'd like to meet you, and I've got $100,000 I just want to spend with you." I don't know, crazy. Jody says yes, and I'm glad California didn't win. I have to agree. I don't want to be biased, right? I mean, California is one of the biggest states in the union, and that, but it does seem like every time somebody wins, it's always California. And so to see someone win in Little Arkansas, I think is really cool. Oh, Katrina goes, I don't know how I'm gonna wake up and not see John. Oh, that may be a good thing, Katrina. I tell you, it's been so crazy. I will tell you that turned out to be a lot more challenging than I ever anticipated. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing them. Um, I enjoy posting those and having all that, but it was definitely a lot more work than I realized. And again, that's another reason I want to look at how am I going to do that next year and what really makes sense for 2026. I will say I've already ordered 2 boxes. So I have pre-ordered Lynn's. And I noticed Lynn apparently posted a video last night to give us some more bingo numbers, which I'm very happy about because I don't even have the first bingo. I'm finally close, but I also feel like I missed a number because I know one day she called out a number that she'd already called out like 10 days earlier, and then finally acknowledged, oh, yeah, I'd already called that number. And then she was supposed to give us another number. But I've gone back through the videos like 3 times and I never saw her give the other number. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So I need to watch that video to see if I can get some bingos, which would be cool. But I did purchase Lynn's box. So Soft Squares, I have pre-ordered their box. And I will say I fell in love with Bella Rose. I did that on my birthday and opened it as one boxing just because it was a lot. And so I was already too far down into doing all those other boxes and that. So I ended up doing Bella Rose as just one straight opening. A few of you were able to join, which was amazing, and I appreciate that. But I I did reorder their box because I really did like the quality, quantity. I really liked the fact that they did so many projects in their box, and so I did pre-order Bella Rose box. So I've got 2 already ordered. I really think that's sufficient. Um, I think Fran, Russ's sister, needs to come up with a box because he needs more on him. And I think Fran did an amazing job to the extent that I actually ordered the unicorn pattern. A couple of things that Russ got. And I didn't realize that unicorn pattern's been out a while. Um, but I had not seen it. I fell in love with it. I like unicorns. My granddaughter loves unicorns. So I ended up grabbing that pattern. I thought it would really be cool to do to make that unicorn quilt as a rainbow, and I thought that would be pretty awesome, right? To do it in the different rainbow colors and that. And then my partner goes, "Well, I think it would be cute if you did each one." in a holiday. So do one as Valentine's, one as St. Patrick's, and all of that. So now we have two ideas to do the unicorn quilt in. So I definitely want to make that pattern a couple of times. Now what I got to figure out is when and how to do that. All right, this is good. All right. So Jake wants to give me a few problems this morning. That's okay. He's allowed. It's Christmas Day. He's like, what are you doing over here again, working, making me live this? And probably would have been happier if I gave him a little oil this morning. I forgot to do that. Now, that's the problem with the Jukies. They don't require a lot of maintenance. And I really want to start using Hercules more behind me, the big Juki. But this one just works so well and pieces so well. I mean, if you notice, poor Tiffany, I mean, I think Jukies are just an old workhorse, right? And I mean, you look at Tiffany and she actually wore one out. It's like, that one was just crazy. All right, fix this. And come on. So, anyways, I do have those two boxes ordered for 2026. I'm hoping that that's what John stays with. I did order the keepsake quilting box this year. I will not be participating with them again. I had said that last year, and then they came out with that retro box, and then actually had it on sale. So I grabbed it. It just absolutely did not resonate with me. Was not the It's not what I anticipated that box would look like. So I will not be doing them in 2026. And like I said, there's nothing against Jenny and Missouri Star Quilt. I think they did an amazing box this year, but I just have to think about variety and what really makes sense for me. Yeah, Amanda says Missouri Star was the best box so far, and she's done the last three. Jody says add it to your giveaways. We're gonna do that. I just need to go through some of it. I haven't. I So interesting enough. After I open each box, I put it in a chair in the family room. So each chair, each seat has got a different box sitting there that just continues to accumulate. Now I need to go through that and figure it out. Luna says the grass basket was the best part of the box this past year. I was excited. Sorry, the best part of the box for me was the stupid coffee cup. I bought that entire box to get my gray coffee cup. I am so excited to have the coffee cup to match my melamine plates, which I won't probably ever use. I do use the coffee cups, and I used to use those at the park home. I do like that coffee cup for some reason. Oh, Katrina goes, I agree. It brought me to tears when I listened to Jenny before I opened it. Yeah, see, yeah, Jenny's got such a big heart, and it's just hard not to appreciate Missouri Star, to hear their story, to know where they've come from, to know how successful they have been, to know how blessed they have been, to know how they give back to the community and crafters and that, how they really brought Hamilton, on the map. It's just such an inspiring story in that. One of the daughters is coming to the Arizona Quilt Guild. I think it's in March, and doing a workshop in that. I would really like to go. I don't know that I am going to go, but I would like to go and see, um, do some of the instructions. But I will say, uh, the girls aren't the instructor that Jenny is. There's just something about the way Jenny comes across, right? And they're not bad instructors, and they do well, and they have some beautiful quilts. It's just, I don't know, there's something very motherly, grandmotherly, or something about Jenny that just makes you really tune in. And I can tell you, I've watched some of the older videos with her, is where I've really learned some of the techniques in that I have. Danielle says, I refuse to watch the news, only causes stress and depression anymore. I agree. I only watch local news. I don't watch national news at all. But even the local news can be too much. Oh, Jody says you were talking about N40. She pulled a G60 and placed it N40. I'll have to go check. I was thinking it was when she did I-28. For some reason, sticks out in my head. But thank you, Miss Joydy. I was hoping she might just post the number somewhere, but we will see. Oh, Jordy says she only has one bingo. I don't even have my first bingo. I'm like one number from having several bingos, but I didn't have my first bingo. Um, I don't think we're the only ones. I think that's why she pulled some additional numbers. Oh, Katrina says, don't use the plates. Her son dropped one and it shattered. Isn't that crazy? And that's the problem sometimes with that melamine too, right? Because especially if you put them in the dishwasher, it really makes them more fine. Oh, Amanda says she's in search of the red one. She didn't get that box. I keep searching online for it. It'll pop up. Um, eBay is absolutely the best place to find that, probably. Oh, Jordy said she called two numbers twice. I thought she did. All right, guys, we're at past. My gosh, we're already over an hour into the live. Let's see what John told. Oh, I ended up polling a fat quarter bundle, and I thought this would be cool. And so, sorry, guys, I try to keep. Um, a list so I know when you all email me who won. But anyways, the fat quarter bundle is got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fat quarters. And this is all in the blues and that. I love the butterfly that's on here. That was so cool. I think this is a really, it's probably a little bit more fall necessarily than spring, but I did really like this bundle when I pulled it out. And I thought, well, that will be cool. So it's not all Christmas today. I think the way I stacked it up is every other piece is Christmas. So that will be fun. But I thought this was in the blues and the oranges. This one's got the mushrooms, right? I thought it was kind of cool. So just something different. I didn't do a good job folding this, so I do need to go back and fold this. Let's go over and let me update. All right, so, oops. All right, so for this drawing, if you go in and put exclamation point FAT, F-A-T, that will get you registered to win. By the way, I did forget to say, really, if you would, if you've already won, please don't re-enter. Number two, if you are outside of the continental US, instead of sending you the prize itself, we'll send you a $10 Amazon gift card. And I'll be honest, that's just because we're lazy and trying to figure out all the stuff to deal with international just gets to be too much. And just um, just not dealing with that. So you'll get a $10 gift card instead. But we want everyone to participate and feel part of the channel. So please, please participate. But exclamation point FAT we'll get you registered for this back quarter bundle. Didn't do the best job folding that, so I thought, you know what, I can do that during the live because I can fold and talk. Lord knows that, right? Because everybody goes, "How do you talk for 3 hours?" And I get done and go, "Wow, that was only 3 hours." Everybody goes, "Yeah, and you just talk nonstop." My partner likes it because he thinks I'll exhaust all my words for the day. Because I was told years ago that women have 50,000 words a day that they have to get out, but men only have 10,000 a day. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle, right? I'm about 25,000. So, yeah, because my partner is much quieter than I am. He's more reserved and probably more self-reflecting, right? So he processes a lot different than I do. Just fine. That's what makes us amazing partners. Wait for him to open his Christmas, and I can't wait to figure out what he got me for Christmas. Because I tell you, yesterday I got to play with the new microwave that he got me for my birthday. Because I hated the other one, and this microwave actually has an air fryer and a convection oven built in. And I played with the convection oven yesterday, and I found these chicken quesadillas off of Sam's, and they're actually pretty good. But I haven't quite figured out how to use the air fryer yet on the microwave. And the old air fryer I had torn apart and was in the dishwasher. So I ended up doing the convection oven on the microwave, and they turned out amazing. And I was like, how nice that I can do that now on the microwave versus my oven actually has a convection oven. But it's the lower oven because we have one of those LGs that's got the double ovens. It's nice, but it gets to be a lot. All right, guys, sorry. See, I do just get to rattling on. All right, let's see who our winner is. Choose a winner. Lord, I can't see on either screen. Cheryl is the winner. Congrats, Miss Cheryl. Merry Christmas. Cheryl, if you will send me an email whenever you get a chance to John, John, at guyscraft2. And in the subject, just put fat, a fat quarter. I will know and get this out to you. How cool is that? Congrats. All right, I'll fold the last one, and then this is all done. I cannot tell you whose fabric this is because the salvage was cut off of each piece. So I'm not sure what line or that this was, but I really liked the blues in this, in the peach. So I've always liked the kind of the blues and peach together. So I thought this was kind of cool. So I can tell you that's how I ended up with this back quarter. I actually have two. And so I thought, you know what, I can give one away. Because that's what's crazy. See, all of this is in my stash. Yeah. All right, this over here. That's why I end up buying stashes. And that's why I shop. See, that's what folks don't realize. I shop and buy these things so I can actually use them on the channel and that too. It's not just always for me. All right, close that. Let me get back over here. Hey, Pamela, good morning. Thanks for being here. All right, so let me get back to ironing. So this one is the elephant on Tula. Oh, already sewn all those together? I guess I have. Get these pressed open. It's exciting to actually see some of the Tula starting to come to life, some of these patterns and that. I have no idea what I'm going to do with some of these. Some of these John needs to keep for himself. Some John needs to gift somewhere. I hate gifting them to my granddaughter, who would love these wild colors and patterns, but also know she's a kid, right? So she's not going to fully appreciate them. So I may have to just put it in her drawer and when she's older, say, look, you have no idea the retro Tula Pink um, that I'm sending you. Oh, and by the way, it's probably worth a little money now because Tula, some of her old patterns and stuff is crazy what people are paying. I've found some of her earlier works and lines on eBay, and they're selling some of her old stuff for like $100 a yard. And I'm like, yeah, see, I like Tula, but I certainly don't like Tula that much. Even if I won the 1.7 billion, I don't know that I could pay that type of. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I guess that's why I make sure now to buy each of her new lines. So I already have the new one coming out in April. I already have, I think it's a half yard cut of everything coming with that one. Anxious to see what that ends up looking like. All right, so that can go this way. This one can go this way. Then gives me this. Gives me this. All right, put these together. Amanda says, I'm finally at my machine. You got me motivated, John. That's awesome. Oh, there's something comforting too about being at the machine, right? It's kind of like my quiet spot. It's John's spot. I think is why I enjoy quilting. It's just me, and I think that's what's interesting because some of the ladies down in Quilt Club always ask, like, "Are you not going to bring your machine down? Are you not going?" And I'm like, "No," because number one, by the time I pack everything, put it all together to bring it down is a lot of work. Number two, we end up talking most of the time, so I don't really get anything done. And I think that's a big part of it for me is it's like, well, when I do get to sew and stitch, I want to sew and stitch, right? Because I'm trying to get things done. Put it together wrong. All right. So I get to use Jack the Ripper this morning. Um, so I don't, it's nice that they get to go down and sew and be together for a day or two and that they can take their machines in. I think for me, sometimes it's like my time. And so to give that up or share that is kind of crazy. I'm still trying to debate. I think I am taking um, one of my Jukies with me to the quilting retreat. But I'll be honest with trying to run the retreat and everything else, I don't see that I'll probably even turn my machine on. But I thought, well, it may be just nice to have it as a backup um, there. But I just can't imagine that I'm going to have a lot of time to sew. And if I do, I've got to take something that's kind of mindless that I'm not going to have to concentrate on, like this one this morning, where I've already messed up just being doing the YouTube live. So come on. This one's wanting to tear the fabric this morning, so John needs to be a little bit careful. He pulls this out. Funny, I go places and people are always picking threads off of me. I thought, yeah, kind of like if you're a cat owner and you have a cat, you just learn to live with cat hair, right? It just is what it is. All right, see that one went that way. Okay, so this one, Did I sew this one backwards too? I did. That's the problem. All right, so let's see if this one's right. That one goes that way. This one goes this way. All right, so this one's good. It's this one. So that one's right. This one got flipped on the wrong side. All right. Now we got to go back and do some more ripping. And I'm working really hard now to make sure that my seams are lining up, that I'm doing some open seam pressing on these to hopefully make sure everything is laying flat. I do like this pattern. Again, this one is Lathe, Lathe tool block pattern by AccuQuilt. I think it's free on their site. Everything's free to me just because, well, not everything, but most of their patterns are free to me because I am because I do belong to their club, which is not cheap. It's like $150 a year, but it gets you free shipping and all that. But I'll be honest, I probably have all the dies that I could possibly ever need. Even though there are some older dies out there that I would kill to have. Um, and I've looked on eBay for some of those. Problem is, I know Mama Jan's got some of them. One of the ladies at our quilt club actually just donated like $10,000 worth of dies. She she um, gifted like her entire collection, which was just amazing, right? What a nice gift. And that the problem is, you have to use them at the club, so you have to coordinate and go when someone um, in the AccuQuilt club is there to open the cabinet to let you use it and all of that, And again, for me, it just gets to be tough sometimes. So, all right, that goes that way. This goes this way. See what I did. All right, so this one, now let's get this one put together and we will be good. All right. Well, Jordy says, how many days is the retreat? The retreat is 4 days. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it's 4 days with an early morning checkout. She likes everyone out of the retreat center by 9 a.m. So a little early. That is what it is. But so we're anxious. We'll see how this one goes. We have 5 others scheduled in 2026. But anxious to get through this first one before we really think too much about any more in the future and that kind of stuff. So we shall see. So and again, like I said, I'll take my machine. I'll definitely look at doing things. I have enough simple projects that I could take to work on. Plus, we're gifting 3 projects at the retreat. So one's a 3-yard quilt, the other is a table runner, and the other is a wall hanging. So I could always just work on one of those with everyone else. So we'll see. Oh, Mama Jane says she's got to do. So she has 2 people coming over later today to celebrate a special day with wonderful people. Isn't she a sweetheart? We're so lucky to have her. Merry Christmas, Mama Jan. Oh, Jen says the grands are finally stirring. We get that. Go enjoy being with those grandkids. Check in on Wednesday is 11 a.m. So you can check in starting at 11. So I guess that's why, that really only gives her a couple hours to turn the rooms and that. But my guess is she probably doesn't even do them necessarily back to back like that. But we'll see. It's first time using the retreat center. Like I said, we've scheduled several other retreats with her, but I definitely want to get through this first one before we really spend a lot of time promoting more. Um, because I will tell you they are certainly a lot more work than I anticipated. Of course, part of that is John is very crazy when it comes to doing things and how he likes things to flow and put together. I think I've worked on the menu for the retreat for 3 months and going back and forth and trying to figure out really what makes sense and trying to find something that I think would just resonate with folks. I am so happy how this is turning out. Look how cute this is. And see, I was able to get the elephant in here. So I think that is cool. And yet, it's like, it's not very Christmassy, John, for Christmas morning, but you know, I think we all, at this point, we know we've got our Christmas done, right? It's either done or it's not going to be done. So that lines up. So the retreat is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days, plus, and then early checkout on Sunday. It's the way we look at it. But yeah, we did not do any week-long retreats. I know. And again, right, we're still trying to figure out what makes sense. There's not as many out here on the West Coast, but I can definitely tell you getting cycled and getting in has been an interesting challenge. I did go to Quilt Club Tuesday and entered 3 items in our quilt show coming up in February. So if you're in the area, our quilt show is coming up in February. Would love to be able to meet you and get to be part of that. It's actually the same time that Tucson has their quilt show. The difference is the Tucson quilt show, I think, is Friday and Saturday, and our quilt show is Saturday, Sunday. So it is the same weekend, but you could actually do both if you're out in the area and would be interested in coming over. I'm trying to look. So our quilt show is the 21st and 22nd of February, and I believe the Tucson quilt show is the 20th and 21st. So you would be able to do both. Jody says, especially traveling across the country. Yeah, but Jody, see, that's the thing. If you came all the way across the country, we'd have to spend a day just going through the Tula Pink and that at the house. So we would absolutely have to host you out here so you could have fun just going through what some of the stash is in them. All right, so look at that. Only took me over an hour, and I managed to get almost an hour and a half, and I managed to get 2 blocks done. It is what it is. Goes with that. That. A lot more pieces in there than I thought there was. I did go out to OESD because OESD actually sells the Tula Pink embroidery files, and they have the Tula Owl that you can embroider it. I think it's like 30 colors, but I ended up buying it because it is just, I love that owl. It's so beautiful. So I am anxious to stitch that sometime. And I'm not sure how I'm going to use it, if I'll stitch it and then end up incorporating it in a quilt, or if I'm just going to stitch it on a sweatshirt so I can wear it. That far I haven't gotten with it, but I definitely do want to play with that a little bit and see what I can do with that file. Not promoting OESD, just saying that is. In fact, Russ is the one that told me OESD had them. I didn't even realize there was anywhere that you could go get those embroidery files. So I am anxious to get out and play with that and see what those end up looking like. All right, so let's do this, that. I do think that would be super cool. Now, oh, and then I was going to tell you, I'm like, Jody says I may not leave then, Jai. Oh, goodness. Hey, Pat, Merry Christmas. Welcome in. Thanks for being here today. Hi, Candace. Merry Christmas. Hi, Jody. Jody. Welcome in. Thanks for joining me on Christmas morning. We are just talking about some random things. So I was going to say, I did enter the quilt show for here, and I ended up putting in one of the two of the embroideries that I did. So machine embroidery category, I entered two things in. One is the train collection. That's a 6-windowed panel that I got done. And what's funny is I actually bought that because I had bought the other OESDs, some of theirs with the kind of like the Thomas Kincaid. I didn't buy Thomas Kincaid, but I did buy a few of their other ones. They have a really cool one for the haunted house and some of those that I'd bought. And then I was like, well, I'd like something to kind of try to work on before I get into all of that complicated stitching. And ended up doing those. But anyways, I entered Santa's workshop as one. I really like the way that turned out. The other one was the train. I just love trains. My dad worked for the railroad years ago. Actually, got his electrician, did his journeyman in that through the railroad back in the day. And so we've always had a soft spot in our hearts for the railroad. So that is the other machine embroidery design that I entered. And then I entered actually the sparkle and stripes that we did. I don't know if it was Memorial Day or July 4th, but anyways, it was the red, white, and blue stars with the applique stars and that we did for one of the quilting bees. So I really like the way that turned out. It's a very basic quilt, so I doubt that I'll win any awards for it, but I've never had anything entered or judged. So I thought that would be interesting. And then the Arizona Quilt Guild is having their show in March. And so I actually entered the train um, in that show for machine embroidery in the same quilt as part of their show. So we'll see. So that'll give me two shows, two judgings early in 2026. And then definitely just need to get some feedback and keep working on my skills, but putting myself out there a little bit. So anxious to see how those turn out and what that ends up looking like. But we shall see, right? I've signed the paper, sent the papers in, so I am out there getting it done. All right, so let's see this one. Don't want to mess this up again because I already did last time, so I don't want to have to rip and sew any more than I need to. Although I did okay this morning. One, this one goes. I thought so. This one goes this way. Yeah. Will be interesting to see what some of the content creators are doing um, over the holidays, especially now that we're getting through Vlogmas. I know a lot of you were happy with Vlogmas. I know a lot of you were like, man, I'll be glad when they quit posting constantly and every 5 minutes, but we shall see. All right, it is. Oh, Balloona says the 50th anniversary quilt show is the 19th through the 31st, so it's Thursday through Saturday, 3 days. I really hope to get down, but for us, I'd have to get down on Friday because I have to work our quilt show Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know. We'd end up having to take some vacation to get down on Friday, so we'll see. Pat says my dad was an electrician and worked for the railroad for a while too. I have a Chessy cat from C&O Railroad Christmas card on my tree. How cool is that? All right, let me set up the next giveaway. We are already, guys, we're halfway through our Christmas holiday quilting bee. How cool is that? Let me go over here. All right. All right, so the next one is what they call a 10-minute table runner kit. This one is called Frosty Merry Mints by Daniel Leone. I don't know who it was licensed to. Anyways, this is the kit itself. So it's Frosty with two backgrounds. It is meant to be cut in, was put together as a 10-minute table runner kit. I must have really liked this because when I was going through the table runner kits, I found that I bought, I think, 4 of these. And so I've done one so far, and I thought, you know what, let's gift one of those. And so, like I said, I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. So still keeping it somewhat holiday Christmassy because it is Christmas morning, guys, but also doing something different. If you will put exclamation point run, are you in the chat? Would like to have unique winners. So if you've already won, congrats. And then if you are for some reason overseas outside of the continental US, if you win, we will just send you a $10 Amazon gift card instead. But I really liked this. I think what resonated with me was the reds and the blues, right? Because as much as I love Christmas and the reds and greens, I love the fact that these reds, blues, these different colors, I think remind me more of that mid-century look. And so I think that's what probably prompted me to grab those. Also, I can tell you 35th is the one that put those kits together. And they probably had an amazing sale on them at Christmas in July or something. So I ended up just grabbing like 4 of them. And there's a lot of times I'll grab that thinking, okay, well, I'll do one for me, do one for my daughter, do one for my son, do one for my niece. So we all kind of, it's fun for me. Um, that we all sometimes have like some of the same decorations, right? So when I did the casserole hot pads, I actually did 4 sets. So my son, daughter, niece all have the same hot pads. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool that we all share some of that stuff. That it's not necessarily unique for any of us, but we all kind of have the same thing. Yes, Pet the Snowman is wintry too. Yes, I agree. Thank you. Yeah, Amanda says I love and don't get me wrong, I love the reds and greens, but like a couple of years ago, I bought a panel that was had the silver tree and it was all in black, silver, and dark red. And man, that just really screamed Christmas to me. And it's like I think we've expanded beyond that that everything has to be red and green, right? All right, let me I just spilled coffee everywhere because that's what I get for taking my lid off. All right, so exclamation point run. Are you in? We'll get you entered into this drawing. And we will see who we can give that away. Oh, Baluna says she's working the show Friday morning. I need to look at my vacation schedule on that because things have gotten so crazy at work. Um, Next year is going to be the toughest year. So every 3 years, I have negotiations and things that I have to deal with in my job. And 2026 is when all of that happens. And even better, we have a new leader. So I have to figure out what that leader wants and how we're going to do things. And it's not necessarily the same as we've always done it. And we'll see. Definitely will need some vacation time next year, I can tell you. All right, press those open. Let me go over and find Nightbot and let's see who our winner is for the 10-minute table runner. All right, here we go. Congrats, Miss Susan. You are the winner of the 10-minute table runner kit. So, congrats. If you will send me an email to John, JOHN, at GuysCraft2, we will get that out to you in the coming days and have that ready for you. So congrats, Miss Susan. So, I work in human resources, and so I do a lot of work with the unions in the labor groups. And so that is what I get paid to do. So that is always interesting. So I like my job. I've done the same thing for 30 plus years. Um, it's always challenging and different at times because, we come at things with two different perspectives. But I think that's again why I enjoy quilting and sewing is it's an opportunity for me just to find my peace and quiet. Um, and negotiation skills are a big part of what I do. It's funny because different folks all ask me different things, and it's like, yeah, see, my job is all compromise. So my job is trying to find the middle ground constantly in everything. And at the end of the day, it should always be about what's the best thing, what's the right thing for the company, and what's the right thing for the employee. And I can tell you it is very interesting at times how that interpretation gets opened up. And that's fine. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm used to it. Definitely interesting doing it in Arizona, a right to work state, which I have always worked in, right? So I've done this in a little bit in Kentucky, did it in South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia. Um, California was the most interesting, but it's always interesting to see how folks come at you with different perspectives than that. And I do good until we get to that emotional part where somebody thinks if they yell or pound a fist on a table, and that makes me listen and tune in more. And it's like, guys, I got over that years ago. I worked for one of the companies I actually worked for was ran and managed by Italians. And Italians are truly emotional folks, at least the groups I dealt with. And I used to laugh because I mean, like they didn't mind to holler, scream, and jump up and down. And being an old Southern boy, we just didn't do that. We didn't show emotions like that. And it was interesting because even our president of the division knew that wasn't John and John's style. And he used to tell them, like, no, 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 you can't act that way in front of John. And which was very respectful. They are a very respectful, just super group. But it's funny. The one thing I did learn about working with Italians back in the day is work is work. And when work is done, you put your arms around each other, your buddies, and you go out and have dinner and a couple of drinks, which for them was like a couple of bottles of wine. But it was all about camaraderie and friendship and that, but you did not talk about business outside of the workplace necessarily. And I had a lot of respect for that. I actually miss working for the Italians. They were probably the most respectful, polite group, but they did definitely come at you with two different um, perspectives, right? Two different dynamics. It was just like, wow, that went wrong in a lot of places quick, or um, that got amped up much faster than I thought it would. But again, all good, right? Right, let's see. Feel like I'm making a little progress today. I hope you all are as well. I hope Santa was good to some of you. I'm sure there was a few of you on the naughty list, but that's okay. I actually thought I'd probably end up on the naughty list, but somebody apparently thought John was good this year. So I am anxious to see how good John was. I don't know if I showed you all the 3D printed stockings that my partner made for me. Santa actually filled them up last night. So I'll bring those to the Sunday Live if you all are on there. So, of course, I got a Grinch stocking because I have to have a Grinch stocking. But it was 3D printed and hand painted by my partner. It is huge, guys. And I never thought about 3D printing a stocking, but it's pretty amazing. So I was very excited about that. And when I got up this morning to go get my coffee and walked by my stocking, Santa actually came last night after I went to bed. And so that was even more exciting because I hadn't had Santa show up in the house for several years. So that was pretty cool to wake up and know that Santa had been here. So again, pretty exciting. Come on, guys. I'm trying to press open some of these seams because there is so much piecing here. And the instructions probably tell me some things that I'm supposed to do. And so curious, when it comes to assembly, do you all actually read some of these instructions? Because like I can see first one says pin and sew. I'm like, yeah, John doesn't like to pin. Although I did pin the last tulip pink and everything lined up just almost perfect, which says, see, John, you should be lining up um, and pinning more often. But again, still probably not going to do that any more often than I have to. And then see, I watch people like Danielle and I watch people like Russ. And I mean, some of the stuff Russ does is just gorgeous. It's like, okay, see, I want to get to that level. I want to get um, more like that. And I also have to remember, okay, you've only done this just going on 3 years in October, technically. Um, and let's be real, the first year you were only doing this every other weekend and not as regular as I am now. So definitely a lot of opportunity to grow. That's why it's going to be exciting for me and my first quilt show to see how that turns out, what that looks like. And I want to definitely get out and be more visible. We will actually, in some of the smaller shows, we won't do the big shows, but because our Etsy store, we want to help promote and get that name out there as well. We're going to do some of the smaller shows to actually set up a booth and that. for those shows because we've got so many kits and things built out that we thought, you know what, that would be a good way to even make more connections in the community and the quilting community and that. And we'll stay in Arizona to do it. But another opportunity to just get out and meet folks, especially knowing that it's going to be a while before, looks like before QuiltCon gets back to Arizona. So hopefully they'll be back in 28 because I know 26 is Raleigh, 27 is Atlanta, which I think it's kind of crazy that they do Raleigh and then just hop down to Atlanta the next year versus I would have thought they would have chosen something a little bit more Midwest, but they did not call and ask me. Had they called and asked me my opinion, I would have gladly shared that with them. But apparently they thought they didn't need it, and that's okay too. I actually wouldn't mind going to Atlanta. I like Raleigh. I love the Raleigh area and that's actually where I did my triathlon back in the day. So when I say I have run all over Raleigh, I literally have either ran or biked all over Raleigh. I do like Raleigh, but I can't imagine. Raleigh is such a gamble in February as far as weather. For that, so is Atlanta, right? And Atlanta doesn't get the snow. You just have to worry about ice that time of year. Um, and it's kind of few and far between too, but you just never know. But I'm surprised they didn't go from, to me, it looks like they would have went from Raleigh to something more Midwest and then back to Phoenix. So definitely hoping they show up in Phoenix. The problem is all my East Coast buddies don't tend to come out for QuiltCon here, and we definitely could not get to QuiltCon 26. If we do go to QuiltCon, it would be the Atlanta show, which would be cool because then I get to finally meet Russ in person. Because as much as we text and talk and chat back and forth, I have not actually got to meet Russ in person. So I really would like an opportunity to meet Russ, to meet Sean, Ian, Becca. Sadly, I haven't met Tiffany yet. And I really would like to meet Tiffany, and she's just over here in Lake Havasu. So it would really be cool to get an opportunity to get out and meet her. Would really like to meet her on the cruise, but we just did not have the funds or vacation time for 26 to make that happen. But I definitely believe Becca and them will be successful, and there will be more cruises in the future for sure. It's here. Goes that way. That says Grinch is her hubby's favorite. She definitely would love to see it. I will make sure to get that shown off to you all. I was totally blown away when he brought that out and showed it to me. I did not even think about something like that being able to be done on the 3D printer. Also took him about 20 hours or so. I know it was a lot of print time to get it done, but not just print time. He actually had to paint it and put it all together, and it's such an amazing job. It was just so exciting. It's fun when you see other people making handmade gifts for you. Interesting enough, I had made him a dinosaur quilt top last year. Um, and then no way I was going to get it long armed in time for Christmas. So part of the gift was, yeah, we'll get the long arm it together, which means he gets to long arm it. But he also got to pick the quilt pattern in that. And then I realized a few weeks ago, yeah, that's still sitting in one of those art bins somewhere. We really need to get that out and get that quilt done for him. It was not John's best job because I definitely rushed trying to get it done over a holiday, over Thanksgiving, while he was gone last year. So I wanted him to be surprised by it. And that's something that's pretty obvious. You can't just say, oh, I'm working on that for something else. Um, but it's fine. It was made with a lot of love and a lot of joy, let me tell you, because and that was absolutely probably one of the worst quilt patterns I have ever dealt with. It was just so interesting. So, still being fairly new to quilting, this was a interesting pattern to begin with, but the instructions were just horrid. I was like, oh my gosh, whoever wrote these instructions um, just totally, totally missed the boat. So, um, I think this is lining up. Nope. All right. The only thing Jake does not like is if you try to stitch and you're just barely off the fabric. Totally throws him off kilter and he completely comes undone. Yet, if he runs out of bobbin and you're already stitching in the fabric, he'll run for hours without any bobbin and act like he's stitching. Um, so, still learning some of these personalities of these machines, let me tell you. Get this one lined up. Yep. All right. Jackie says, I'm normally not a pinner, exception being star points. Pinning does make a huge difference. It does. I have been so frustrated not being able to get the points in the seams and that lined up just right. I go to Quilt Club and watch these women that have done it forever, and they just do such amazing work. And I'm like, okay, why can I never get my stuff lined up like that? And then, of course, Mama Jan goes, it's because you won't pin. If you would pin that, then you wouldn't have it. So I ended up pinning the last Tula quilt I did, took the time to go through, really spend some focus doing it, and stupid thing lined up just perfect. So it really turned out great. So I'm really excited about that, but I also realized there's times that I'm going to have to pin if I really want the quality and that the work does. I do know that Russ does not do a lot of pinning, but Russ has also been doing it longer, so he probably has a few other secrets up his sleeve. It's fine. We will get it figured out, right? I think we all figure out at the end of the day what works for us, but and what works for one may not necessarily work for the other. That's I'm still trying to figure out. Binding, right? I've got a friend that says she'd come over and help me bind some stuff because she only does, well, she does both, but uh, supposedly she has an amazing machine binding technique. I've watched everything and everyone on YouTube. It just hasn't hit the right spot for me. I do okay on binding now. It's still not where I want my binding to be. But because I can tell you, I'm not hand binding, and I know there's plenty of you all out there that do, but just not me. I'm not going. I spent way too much money on machines to actually go into hand binding. So we'll see. See, I love how this block turned out. Look how pretty this is with this lion dead center, right? So I mean, it just really just pops. I'm really happy with how this is coming together. So I'll be anxious to see what this quilt turns out. Pat says she's never been to QuiltCon. You ought to go. I So I spent way, way, way too much money at QuiltCon in February, but I did have a really good time, and it was really fun to see all the folks that were there. And that I didn't get to meet a lot of the content creators because we only went Saturday. I definitely would want to spend a couple of more days, especially if we end up going like to Atlanta and flying across the country. Alex says, back, got a phone call from one of my best friends. How cool is that? It says, is QuiltCon like AQS? That I can't answer. I'm not sure. QuiltCon is done by the Modern Quilt Guild. So it's mostly modern quilts in that. I really would like to go to the quilt show in Houston. When you watch Ian and all of those that go down there, I definitely would like to go see that. See, Joydy's going to Atlanta, so see, that's all the more reason to get to Atlanta. Plus, Atlanta having Hartsfield, right? Having Hartsfield Airport does make it easier for me to get in and out of than Raleigh. Although Raleigh does have a direct flight on Southwest to from here, and now I'd probably be willing to gamble and deal with Southwest again since they have decided not to do the cattle call anymore, and that they're actually going to assign seats and all that kind of stuff. I think it's funny, they still kind of want to be known and associated as the no frills airline. It's like, I hate to tell you guys, sometimes when I go to look at booking, I always check Southwest just to check them. And American beats their prices now. I mean, it's not, Southwest certainly is not the low cost carrier that they used to be known for. So they have certainly hit that major market. In fact, I think they're considered one of the top two largest airlines. I read something not too long ago that they were actually the largest airline out there now. I don't know if that's true or not. If Sally was on today, she would know since she retired from American. So, and I can't say I'm an American fan. For us out of Phoenix, out of Sky Harbor, our hubs are American and Southwest, and they both fly out of the same terminal. So you typically can get almost nonstop where you want to be out of the two. Delta obviously flies out of Terminal 3, so that would make it convenient to get to Atlanta. So I have to see. I haven't. I definitely need to look in February, March at booking hotels, right? And I do have Hyatt points in that I can use and look at booking with. So if I can do that and fly reasonably over, I wouldn't mind doing it. The one thing I would definitely have to think about is be cautious about how much I would be able to spend because I wouldn't necessarily be able to bring it all back home, right? Oh, Joydy says Russ is very tall. Interesting. I don't know that I never thought of Russ being tall. I don't know that I've ever seen. I guess I've seen some pictures of him and his sister in that, right? Where they've taken vacation photos and things like that, but I've never really paid attention. So that's interesting. Hmm. Get these sorted out. She said, I just thought I'd share that tidbit. Thanks, Brian. I do think I'm so happy with this Tula, right? I think these animals and that are just so cool. Oh, Brian says he's never been to QuiltCon. I would think, I mean, I guess Raleigh would be drivable for you. Um, because QuiltCon itself is not expensive. In fact, if you join the Modern Quilt Guild, like if you join the Arizona Quilt Guild, this is what I did this year. It was cheaper to join. It would save me like $5 by joining the local quilt guild. And then because I was a member, you get a free ticket to um, QuiltCon. So it actually made better sense for me to join the Quilt Guild and support the Arizona chapter and then get my free ticket. So that's what I did this year. I have not renewed my membership, which will be coming up. I don't know that I'll necessarily renew it because I already belong. There's several Arizona quilt groups, and I belong to two of those guilds now. I'm not sure that I need a third, partly because some of them do a lot of Zoom meetings and that. So if they do Zoom meetings during the week at night and do some things on the weekends, it makes it more enticing for me to belong. I have a hard enough time just supporting my local quilt club. So yes, 2027 is Atlanta. Oh, Jody says 6'5", a little bird told me, like Sean. Oh my gosh, he's huge. I'm 5'11". So 6'5" is huge. It's so funny. My son is 6'2", and we were talking one day, and he goes, "Well, I'm really disappointed. Like I'm not taller." And I'm like, most guys would love to be 6'2". And he goes, "Well, I always hoped that I'd be 6'3". I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, dude, really? Come on. Yeah. Interesting. 6'5". No, I would never have guessed that. Well, the nice thing is that makes it easy to be a long armor, right? Because that's where I struggle sometimes is the reach. Even though I'm 5'11", I really have short arms. I'm all like leg. And so where I struggle with long arm and dealing with it is usually, um, reaching across. And that's why my partner ends up doing the long arming. Um, Plus, he has patience. I I was not given patience and was not born with patience, and I have no patience. And so I keep trying to find some. It just doesn't happen for me. All right, it is after 9 o'clock. Oh my gosh, guys, we're in the last hour. Cool is that? All right, let me grab the next drawing. Let me sort this out real quick and see what we are giving away next. Mhm. Cool. All right. So another fat quarter bundle. Um, so let's go through another spring collection. I can tell you why John bought this. It's because it's got a lot of purple in it because John loves purple. So this is 2, 4, 6, I think it's 8 fat quarters. And so something again to get into the spring. I did like the variety of colors in this, but that's really what jumped out at me. And I like that some of them were really black. This one actually comes out more pastel and faded. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Thanks for being here. I like the beige that jumped in here all of a sudden. I love the hearts, right? So see, you could even make this kind of Valentine-y. That's a word, just so in case you all didn't know. Valentine-y is a word. And then I love this one. Look how beautiful that is. All right, so let me jump back over Fix Nightbot real quick for you. If you have one already, please don't re-enter. If you are overseas, like I said, we will give you a $10 Amazon gift card because we still want you to participate. And let's go back and do. All right, and just to make sure that Nightbot doesn't freak out because sometimes it thinks you spam stuff, let's do exclamation point fat and the number one. So fat one for this one. So we don't have Nightbot think we're spamming it. Give away that fat quarter. Alex says, time has gone by so fast. Thank you. I am glad you all think so. Sometimes I wonder, man, do they think I just drone on and on and on and they're willing to hang in here? Trini says, back again. Otis son called and we've been chatting while he was driving. Now, that's, I get to do that a lot with my kids. It's amazing. Sometimes that's the only way I get their attention is if they're driving or going somewhere. Alex says, I want to join a guild. I would think that you might have one out in your area. Um, you know, I'm lucky, right? Because I live in next to a major city. So Brian says, Raleigh is drivable, but it's my fur baby. She grew up in shelters and she is coming out of her shell with me, and I don't want to traumatize her by boarding her. No, I totally get that. I will tell you, interesting enough, we had a Bichon that we used to board every so often, and we were so blessed. It's when we lived down in Georgia. It was actually a vet that lived down on a farm out in Augusta, Georgia. And anyways, he had his farm, had this practice, you know, all of that, did boarding. And I remember the first time we went to get our poor Bichon, his name was Noah. We went to pick him up. They were like, well, we have to find him. And I'm like, what do you mean you need to find my dog? Well, the girls really love him because he had two daughters, I think. So they just keep, they've been keeping him with them, but Vet really likes him. So he takes him out on the tractor and that. So this dog was well entertained the entire time that we were going to Florida and that on vacation, to the extent that anytime we would board him, I'd have to call like an hour before to say, hey, we're within the hour of coming to pick my dog up. I know he's going to be disappointed. He's got to go back home with us, but could you find my dog and get him ready? And we were so lucky to find a group like that. But our dog was housebroke. He didn't shed, didn't have any of that. And so it just made, and he had the best temperament. So we were so blessed to find somewhere like that that you can board them. I think boarding has become so much better. But yes, poor things, when they've been raised in shelters and all that, um, they've had a traumatic life, and we don't want to contribute to that at all. Oh, Balloona says, I thought they did away with it. They didn't this year, because if you join the Arizona Modern Quilt Guild, I did get my free ticket that way. Now, I won't say that they've done it, that it may have been different in the past or something, but I did. That's how I got our tickets this year. And it says, still debating QuiltCon 26. I really want to meet all of these quilty friends in person. Yes, I don't blame you. I do too. I just know 26 is out of the question for us. All right, so let's jump over and see um, who the winner is on the next back quarter. Oh, Balloonist! Congrats! Balloonist from down in Tucson. Oh, poor Alex. She says it's about 4 hours to get to the nearest one. Yeah, you have to find two if any of them do the Zoom meetings. Because even for me, getting over into Phoenix and that sometimes, depending on where they're at, can be over a hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And so that's what works for us is finding the ones that have the Zoom meetings. So that helps make a difference for us. Jordy says, I think Balloonist is right. That's sad because that was a way to really help promote those um, local guilds. Oh, Balloon says it's interesting because Tucson, she's a member of Tucson, and they're the ones that told her that. I don't know. I was surprised that, because um, that's the only reason we ended up joining the Phoenix one was because I'm not so much a modern quilter. I do love modern quilts. I don't know that I have the skill set sometimes for the modern quilts, but interesting enough. And I don't know that I shouldn't say I don't have the skills. I mean, right? Because we can develop and train ourselves in a lot of different ways. I don't know. Sometimes, so my partner loves the geometry, right? That's what he loves is the shapes and that. So he does kind of gravitate more to the modern quilts. So I've bought a lot of those patterns, even though I have not necessarily done them. But right now I'm just getting used to half square triangles and some of the others and getting used to doing something besides true straight piecing. So I have no idea what we'll be doing and talking about on Sunday. Probably a little bit about post Christmas and how those things went. I know 35th, which is my favorite quilt store, is having some big sales coming up. So I'll be anxious to see what those look like, even though I need nothing. They just had Black Bag. I did not go again this month. I don't think I went in November. And no, they're probably wondering what's happened to John. Has he been in the hospital? Because I haven't made like the last two or three Black Bags. But what I did find out is our store out here actually got the entire Tula, the new Tula Grayworks collection, which I don't need any more of. But it's nice to know because there was only one. We've got 5 quilt stores within 10 minutes of each other, and only one actually carried Tula Pink. And I like the store well enough. It's not one that I shop very often. I do like the store. It's a very nice store with a lot of but they never like their sales and that just never line up. I just every time I go in, it's always full price unless I find stuff in the clearance section. But they don't do the sales and that some of the other stores do. And I get it. I mean, right? They're still trying to pay rent and that, but it's like, guys, I mean, I like everybody. And interesting enough, like 35th, even if they're not having a sale, because I belong to the Arizona Quilt Guild, always gives me 15-20% off just because I'm a member of the guild. And so it's hard for me to go shop a store that gives me no discount when right here in the community we have Bob's, which is it's kind of like the five and dime, what I remember of being more like that five and dime store. Gives us a discount. I get 15% off there every day, except on sales, right? If they're having a sale, they don't combine discounts. But so I end up going there a lot just because they do have a nice selection. They're right here in the community. Definitely want to support them. But at the end of the day, trying to figure out what's what can be interesting at times, let me tell you. So be interested. What plans do you all have for Christmas today? Are you going somewhere, doing something? Is there other YouTube creators doing things today, doing their normal lives? Is the channel itself going to be kind of quiet today? I did see where Sean just posted something. I think it was in Discord. And Sean's such a big supporter of all of us content creators. Um, he had sent an email or a posting out to ask about confirming our days of the week and the days we go live, because Sean does have a list. So if you're curious and looking at looking at some of the different channels in that are out there. Sean actually posts a really nice. Jess is on there, Tasha's on there, Danielle's on there, Russ, and all of us. And uh, it's really nice that Sean has put together a comprehensive list to let you know um, who goes live, what days. Tiffany's on there, I think Ian, so Becca. It's really an amazing list of all the different lives and the channels and that. So if you're curious and want to take a look at that, it's definitely over on his channel, and it's also out on Discord. And if you've not joined his Discord, it's amazing. It's got a great chat in that and is open to anyone, and it is free. We like that word, FREE. So that is cool. Definitely try to support Sean any way I can. Sean was the first one to reach out to me when I started my channel a few years ago, and he's always been a big proponent. And then actually when I talk about making Brian and Zaza and Joydy, because they volunteered to be moderators for me, which is amazing and very, 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 very appreciated. I had to reach out to Sean to ask him how to do that. I still need to get Brian set up as a moderator. For some reason, have not been able to do that. So I need to ask Sean what's going on with that. But between him and Danielle, it's amazing the knowledge that they have when it comes to all this equipment and all those things, and the willingness to share. So that is very much appreciated. And I need to give them both a bigger shout out at times because they have really helped. I still need to get finished setting up the new cameras, the new software, and that for this studio. We're getting close. I did get some of the lights mounted. Need to finish doing that. I'm hoping this weekend. Definitely will be leaving StreamYard, and so just because of cost and services. And I've got the new one set up, but I need to test it. So please have patience with us in January if things seem haywire, because that will be why. And then I'm doing, what else do we have going on? We've got that going on. We've got those changes coming. Just lots happening. Watching Shannon with Slay Arts. We just talked about doing being back on channels together. So I'll have Shannon back soon, as well as be over on her channel. She is a absolute hoot. Always enjoy being with her. It's just so crazy to think, oh my gosh, I'm already talking about 2026 in January, and it won't be long. We'll be talking about spring, and it's like, oh, things just need to slow down and be calmer for us. We'll see how that works. One of my friends that I used to work with, he got downsized out of the last company before I did. I haven't got to see him for a couple of years, but we still text and that. He ended up taking a job just recently back in Alabama. Texted me this morning, Merry Christmas, to let me know they sold their house. They're back in Arizona. for a few weeks and would like to see us before they permanently move to Alabama. And I'm like, oh, dude, as much as I would love to do that, I just have to figure out how to make that happen. There's just too much going on. It's just like life is so busy right now. It's just crazy. Don't forget, Katie is going live. That poor girl, I don't know how she has time to do anything else. Seems like she is live all the time, but she's got, I don't know what her holiday Christmas schedule looks like, but I do know she is doing 12 hours for New Year's Eve, which God bless her. I can tell you the 3 hours for these is taxing. And I don't mean that to sound like I don't appreciate it and don't enjoy it. It's just making sure that I have enough stuff ready and things to work on. I can't imagine how she does 12 hours. But our next holiday quilting bee will be Martin Luther King. So still trying to figure all of that out. We will have a project to work on together. So I just cheated this time around. I just felt like folks had stuff they wanted to get done for Christmas or this time of year, and it just made sense for us just to get together and work on whatever versus always having a planned project. But we will definitely do a planned project for Martin Luther. Interesting enough, probably one of the things I need to start working on is what we call a library tote. So the Sun City Maricopa library system reached out and asked if I would come do a training for them and do a project with the folks that show up. They actually have 9, I think, Singer sewing machines and wanted to know if I would come do a sewing project. So we're doing that in April. And I did just finally finalize back with the lady that's in charge of it that I think we're going to do a library tote. I thought made the best sense, right? So I've got to look at building some of the kits because I don't want to get into cutting and doing all that there. So I want to be able to pre-cut and put a kit together that makes sense. We're not going to use, we'll use webbing versus having them make their own handles um, and possibly just do it out of back quarters. I'm not sure. I've done charm packs in the past and I love the last charm pack coat that I did. I've made some modifications to it for what makes sense to me, but I don't think that's what I want to do um, for their project because I want to do something that's simple because most of them are not sewers. They just want to be introduced to it. And I thought, well, library tote makes sense, right? So it's fun that folks are reaching out, asking us now to come out and um, teach and talk and um, share our craft in that. So it's interesting. Now our channel has grown enough. Um, and all of you that are subscribers that have hung in there with me, that have been there, watched us grow the last couple of years, I so appreciate you. New ones that we have picked up in the last few months, appreciate each and every one of you as well. The ones that have watched all of those unboxings during this month, definitely appreciate. And if you've been an old subscriber and been around for a while, you will have to say John has cut back, right? Because he used to do a lot of um, unboxings, right? Shopping sprees. John hasn't done really many shopping sprees for a while, so we really have cut back from what it used to be. Look at this. I actually put this whole set together right. This is probably the plainest of all the sets because it doesn't have a lot of characters in this one. It's fine. All works out. Let me get this done. So I'll be curious. Let's go back and see. Look at you. Some are going to cousins. Balloonists want to go to the dog park if it's dry enough, right? Amen. Amanda goes, I was curious too who else might be alive today. This is helping me get so much done. It just, I love, I'm fortunate. I have a good partner. We have a lot going on, a lot of things, but I don't know. It just feels right for us as the YouTube family to share some of our time together and be together on holidays. And that's kind of how it started. Um, and it has just continued and makes sense. So, and I'm just not willing to give that up. I appreciate getting to be with you all. It's fun to get to be with you all on Sundays, and I definitely want to have more time as we move forward. But I enjoy all of us being together, and because you all really have become like family to me. It's just so strange, even though we're just YouTube, right? And some of you I don't even know what you look like. Had no idea Russ was 6'5". Oh my gosh, how easy is that? And he says going to Otis' son's grandparent in laws for Christmas dinner around 3. How cool is that? I had to click off for a little bit. All good. Oh, Katrina's got house cleaning to do. That happens. Amanda says Sean and Danielle have been a big part of her channel's growth. Still a baby, however, big goals for 2026. Yes, we need to get you over on our channel sometime. So I'll reach out to you probably in the new year, but definitely get us to share some time together. And again, hit that exclamation point selfie, and it will should bring up your channel. Jody said, still going to be a slug today. Maybe pet some fabric later. We all need those days. Even if we're retired, we still need those days, right? I mean, sometimes it's just about laying around. Like last night, we did holiday tradition, right? So last night is we ended up eating leftover birthday cake and ice cream, but we got to watch White Christmas. So it's not Christmas to me without White Christmas. Actually, would have liked to gone out and did some. I like going out and looking at Christmas lights. There's not as many here in this community as there are in some of the others, but um, enough, right, that it's fun to go out and see who has decorated and what's come up. But I didn't even feel like it. I just wanted to sit on the couch. Even though I was off all day, my feet hurt because I actually spent hours cutting fabric. Even though I used the AccuQuilt, it still was a lot of planning, cutting, coordinating, and I just kind of wanted to be that slug last night on the couch and let Rosemary and Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye entertain me and make Christmas for me. So, and as much as I like White Christmas, I wouldn't have minded waking up to the snow this morning as long as I knew after Christmas morning that it would all melt and be back in the 70s. So I'm good for it for a little bit, but not for a long time. Oh, Jody says Katie is making prime rib today. Oh, wow. I love prime rib. My niece makes a standing rib roast for Christmas. Oh, Pat says she's going to maybe start cutting her snowman quilt from Bella Rose. I really need to work on the Bella Rose box. They gave us so many projects in there. Plus, Lynn from Soft Squares gave us several projects that I want to get out and work on. Jody goes, I got to start St. Patrick's, Easter, and Valentine's Day next week, right? because Valentine's Day will be here before you know it. Brian says, I'm just keeping all my Christmas fabric out and making things. Maybe then I will be finished by Christmas. I understand that, believe me. Interesting enough, when I started looking at my Christmas stash for making my grandson's quilt, I'm like, I don't really have that much. I mean, I do, but I don't. And I especially don't have like fabrics I think he would like. So I'm hoping somebody has a big after Christmas sale on Christmas fabric because I would like to pick up some more. John, the other John says being lazy. I get that. Oh, Pat says I finished my hubby Grinch quilt yesterday. He gets a quilt top so he can long arm it. That's see, been there, done that. That's how my partner got his last year. Brian says I love the quilting beast. Thank you. That means a lot, Brian. It really does. I do agree. We learn a lot from each other. You all have taught me so much. I wanted a cleaning fairy. I did too. I knew something. I should have known something was up because I went to Quilt Club last Saturday, and then when I came home, my partner had put together several things for me, but he'd also managed to clean the kitchen, family room, and that. And I should have known something was up when he was cleaning the house because he's great about cleaning the house if I give him the chore list or tell him to do it. He just doesn't notice in between that the house got dirty and that it might need to be cleaned. Um, Never says a word, just does it without complaining, but just doesn't recognize it in between that it might be time to do that again. And that's fine. Um, I'm not as fanatical about it as I used to be. I say that because I get home from Quilt Club and he's actually cleaned some of the house without being told to. And so at 4 o'clock, when the doorbell rang, and all these women showed up from Quilt Club with appetizers and stuff for my surprise birthday party, it's like, okay, you really should have clued in instead of just thinking, okay, he's trying to help us get ahead for the holidays, right, and get things cleaned up. He instead had plotted with Mom Jan and some of the others. So it was very exciting. It was very nice for them to do that for me. Very much appreciated. And it's always fun just to get to spend that time with some of our friends and that. So it was really cool that they did that for us. Oh, Balloonist says I watched White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life yesterday. Believe it or not, I have never watched It's a Wonderful Life. I've never watched Miracle on 34th Street. I've seen parts, but I've never seen start to finish. Amanda says, I'm so happy to be up and sewing today. Had surgery December 15th and had a rough recovery. That's why I'm still sewing Christmas gifts. So, Amanda, very, very, very sorry to hear about that. But we are glad you're on the channel today. We are glad that you are starting to bounce back. And I get being behind on Christmas gifts. Some of us don't even have the excuse of surgery to be behind. Oh, Brian says, how many? You can cut 6 layers on the AccuQuilt at one time. So it does allow you to cut up to 6 layers. I have cut 8. You can cheat it a little bit, but it's designed to cut 6 layers. But and what I like is it cuts the dog ears and all that kind of stuff. It says our snow in Michigan almost gone, but we are to get freezing rain tomorrow as long as I can get to the airport Tuesday. Ugh, freezing rain is just the nastiest. Amanda says, wish we had snow in the 40s in Northeast Indiana. I don't know a lot about Indiana. Kind of crazy, right? I grew up in Louisville, so we had Clarksville and New Albany and all that in southern Indiana. And I remember years and years ago, a company that I worked for had, we used to go to Michigan, but several of them had worked in Gary, Indiana. And that facility was closed and moved down to Michigan, over to Michigan and that. And I remember going to Michigan. We actually went through Gary, Indiana, to see where the old facility and that was, which was interesting. But at the same time, it was very sad just to see how we just abandon things. All right, guys, time for another giveaway. And what there wouldn't be a giveaway, right, without Villa Rosa. So I pulled 4 Villa Rosa designs to give away and thought we would do all 4 as a packet. I made my own little packet this time. Go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So if you win this one, you get 4 patterns. I love this new peppermint and holly pattern. So that's actually from 2020. So that's been around a while. It was new to me. You'll get that table runner. I really like this Sisterhood is a pattern from 2021. Um, Bride's Dream. I don't know what really this resonated with me for some reason. It's a 20,000 or 2012 pattern. And Egg Rolls, which is a 2022 pattern. So you get all 4 patterns if you win the drawing. If you will put exclamation point VRD, so Villa Rosa Designs, VRD, exclamation point. You'll win all 4 patterns and drop that in the mail to you, hopefully in the next week or so. So exclamation point VRD. Let me make sure I got Nightbot working. These back. It says, so Let's Be Quilty is having a sale each day online with different designer each day. Oh, I'll have to go over and look. I don't know that I've ever been to So Let's Be Quilty's site, so I will definitely check that out. It says there's a quilt shop that did their first advent box. It was great. $50 gift card was the last gift. Then you are having an advent box party, so we said, let's go to Florida. Think that's kind of cool, right? I mean, and I will say that's one of the things that I did appreciate about Lynn this year. So Joydy got me hooked on Lynn and got me started with soft squares. She's such a sweetheart. But it was fun doing her Advent bee box because she supported other people, right? So she had a cookie in there that had her logo, but at the same time, it was from more of a local bakery, which I think the lady actually bakes out of her house, is what Lynn said. But then she gave us the necklace, which probably will show up on the channel at some times if it doesn't end up gifted to one of the ladies at the quilt club. Um, but again, it was an Etsy seller. She did that with a couple of things, and I know one of the things that she gave away, her son made, and she helped support his business. So it wasn't all about just giving money to Lynn and her finding stuff. Yeah, she included others, which I thought was kind of cool. Jordy says, I'm not sure, but a food channel I watch shops there are the times I have great food bargains. Hmm. Pat says Soft Squares Beatbox was awesome. That's all thanks to Joydy. Joydy helped me spend some more money, right? Joydy sometimes helps encourage things. We appreciate that. She's a sweetheart. All right, exclamation point VRD will get you registered for that drawing. Give me just 1 minute. I'll sort these out and then we will hit and see what Nightbot says is the winner of those. Oh my goodness, am I missing these? It's an interesting combination. Huh. These ended up being pink and green together. Not what I would have thought. I'll be anxious to see how this turns out, and you all may not get to see this till after. Um, oh, did I not cut enough? Yeah, I did. Come on, John. Y'all still till it's Christmas morning. John's still struggling a little bit. I feel like I'm half asleep. All right, let's see who is the winner for the Villa Rosa patterns. Jackie, DVD Stitcher, you won the giveaway. Yay, Miss Jackie. Merry Christmas from Guys Craft 2. So if you would just send me a email, put it in the subject line. You can just put Villa Rosa, VRD, whatever, and send me your address, and we will get that dropped to you in the mail this week. Those are actually easier to send out. That's why sometimes we do them with the. Why I do tend to give away a lot of Villa Rosa patterns because it's nice because I can just drop one or two of those in an envelope and move on. Now my phone is starting to blow up. So let's see. Can you tell people out here are starting to wake up? Yeah, now we're getting Merry Christmases back and forth from folks, which is kind of cool. Heck, because I'll let you know how the Florida party is. We always appreciate that. Katrina says coffee deprived. It is. And see, normally at 9:30, and you can almost set your watch by me, is John usually has his Mountain Dew Zero. Every day, John has a Mountain Dew Zero around 9:30, and my body knows it. But that's in the other room, so I will get that after this as part of my biscuits and gravy this morning. So no, John does not make homemade biscuits. John does make homemade gravy. It's funny, my daughter goes, "Oh no, they make this sausage gravy in the can, and you can't tell the difference." All right, so her, I can't tell the difference, and Daddy's, I can't is way different. Uh, so I did buy it one time, and then I had to text her and go, okay, so I don't think you remember having Daddy's homemade gravy because that's nothing like what Daddy's used to making. So I used the Bob Evans recipe, which is really, really simple. It's like, I don't understand. So you take a pound of sausage, fry it up. Um, I always take paper towels and dab off all the extra grease. And then I think it's like a couple of tablespoons of flour that you sprinkle on so you get it all thicky, wicky. And then you put together I think it's 2 cups of milk. That's basically the entire recipe. I have to look it up again because I always have to look it up. But it's just it's so quick and easy, and I have to be careful because I usually end up making the gravy while the biscuits are baking, and the biscuits take like 15 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, I can literally throw that together in like half the time, so it takes like 6 to 8 minutes to make that gravy, and it's just so flavorful. And just what she told me, she goes, "Oh no, it tastes just like, the can tastes just like that." I'm like, "No, the can doesn't taste anything like that." And that really bothers me that you would tell people that because, like, people think you grew up deprived or something. So it's funny because I always make them biscuits and gravy on when we go to the beach together. That's one of the things I make for breakfast one morning. My son-in-law and everybody like it, but they're all like, "They taste a lot different from what we're used to." And I was like, "Yeah, it's because your mother, my daughter's, gives you all canned biscuits or a canned gravy." I don't know where she came up with that and then thinks that tastes as good, but did the best, you with the time I had, I did the best I could with her. That's crazy. Poor grandkids, they eat canned gravy. Hey, Ingrid, Merry Christmas. I am so excited. Thanks for being here. Thanks for dropping in for a little bit. Trina says it's warm in Florida. Might have to change to a short sleeve shirt. Let me tell you, we bought, um, so we always wear matching shirts. It's a John thing, yes. And we have matching t shirts to wear to Mama Jan's today for Christmas dinner because um, definitely, because we've already worn these, so we can't go over there today in these shirts because she's already seen these. We actually wore this shirt to the Christmas program that we went to and out to dinner a few weeks ago. I only got to go to one Christmas program this year. It wasn't quite the same. I really love. I like going to the live programs and that. It just means a lot during Christmas. I think it's just cool and kind of makes your holiday. But we only got to go to the one this year. We did have tickets to A Christmas Carol, but it was Thanksgiving weekend and we were both tired and he had worked in the garden and I was like, yeah, I don't feel like getting dressed and going out, even though it's literally 10 minutes down the road and no travel and all that. Um, but still, it just we stayed in. And and it's I think the other thing is I'm just not a Christmas Carol fan. I don't know why. I'm just never been a big fan of A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I can watch it, I can do it, but it's just not my favorite. I think for me, it's too dark for Christmas because I'm just one of those holly jolly people, right? And I haven't even got to watch. I noticed the yesterday it popped up on one of my feeds. Tim Allen's Santa Claus. I love the Santa Claus. Movie two and three wasn't as good, but I definitely love the original Santa Claus. Always thought that was a neat one. Um, Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. Always thought was a cool one. So I haven't even watched many of those. I've got about four Hallmark in reserve that I need to watch. So we'll be getting those out soon. But I did watch, like I said, I do keep one of the TVs usually on the Hallmark channel. It has been nice because if you're a subscriber to the Hallmark Channel Plus, they do have a stream of all the Hallmark movies and just one after the other. And of course, on Hallmark Plus, they have yet to switch to commercials, which really irritates me with Amazon. So we're watching White Christmas on Amazon last night. And it wasn't that frequent, but it's just enough that it's aggravating that a commercial pops up. And it's like, really? I mean, I get my Hulu and all that, but you gifted me as part of my Amazon Prime membership. Um, you know, the streaming, and then now you found a way to make more money off of me and mark that. It's like, come on, guys, I spend a lot of money on Amazon, way too much money, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I see Amazon trucks in here all the time, and sadly, there's a new show. I want to watch the new rivalry show, the hockey show. Realized it's on HBO, and I let our subscription expire over Thanksgiving because I had bought it on a Black Friday special and forgot about it. And so that expired. But I tell you what, I'm getting streaming service poor. Everybody complains about, we all wanted to cut the cable and get off. But I tell you what, I have got more subscriptions, and it's like I am so tired. And every show that comes out anymore is on a different subscription service. It's like, oh no, I want to watch that. Now I got to subscribe to that. So that's why I had turned off HBO. So of course, the newest show that comes out that I want to see is now going to be on HBO. And it's like, guys, I am just kind of over all these streaming services. So I don't know. if and when I will watch some of these shows because I'm just not. I'm just getting tired of paying for all of the services. I've got, of course, we get Amazon Prime, right? Because we're Prime members. So, um, so I've got the Amazon Prime. I get Hulu because I belong to Fry's, which is Kroger, um, because I belong to their Boost for the delivery service and that. So they now give us Hulu, which is great. And then, of course, I'm a Walmart Plus member, so they give us Paramount. And then I already pay for Netflix, and it's like, and I pay for Apple, and it's like, and Hallmark Plus. So I already pay for three additional services, and Hallmark Plus is not that expensive. I'm not giving it up. I try to give Netflix up, but Netflix still is probably the most popular one. And then Apple is reasonable enough, and it's just bundled with all the other Apple stuff I have. So to separate it out probably is not going to save me any money. It'll end up probably costing me. So I'm stuck with that. So it's like now if I want to, it's like a year or so ago, one of the shows I wanted was on Stars. I was like, I didn't even know there was such a thing as Stars. I thought Stars had long gone, went away. But fortunately, they had like 6 months for 99 cents or something. So we did it for that and stopped. And then there was not another show even on Stars that we wanted to watch. Katrina says last week we were in the 30s. Then Thursday it was 80 when we were on Mike's vacation. Man, not crazy. All right. So I missed some of the conversation, but I hear Joy talking about cube steak. Interesting enough, I just fixed cube steak last week for dinner. I hadn't had cube steak in forever, and I don't know what made it pop in my mind, but I actually bought some cube steaks and fixed cube steaks with a gravy and that, and was good. It was different. Had homemade mashed potatoes and green beans and all of that, and I hadn't had cube steak in forever because I try to make something different, but it's tell you what, you really have to stop and think because it's easy to get locked in. And I think part of my problem is the fact that I don't grocery shop, that I do everything online and have it delivered. That I don't walk up and down the meat counter to go, oh, there's cube steaks. I haven't had cube steak in forever, or yeah, and so because you don't get the same when you shop online. But I think I save a lot of money actually by shopping online because I can tell you I'm pricing and doing things, and I go, yeah, I'm not spending that on groceries this week. So what can I cut back? What can I change out? I do think it does help me save money in the long run. All right, those are all pressed out. Those are pressed and ready. Pat says I haven't watched Hallmark much this year. She must have been sick. I watch it too much. Yeah, I agree with Brian. I don't think if I'm paying for the streaming, so it's just it kills me. So now I either have to pay Hulu a bundle or I have to watch commercials. It's like, guys, really? He said unless they only agree to show fabric commercials. Wouldn't that be cool? Really cool fabric commercials. Oh, Jordy's cutting cable off tomorrow. I don't blame you. It's just gotten crazy. Green says, I don't have a streaming service and planning to drop DirecTV at the first of the year. May drop the house phone because it's only an annoyance with spam callers. Amen. I get it. Believe me. I had Philo because I had Fling as our cable, and it they kept raising it so much. I finally switched to Philo, and then realized one month, a couple of months ago, how much Philo was now charging me, and I just dropped all of it. I thought, you know what? I already have enough other streaming services, so if I can't find something I want, I don't need it. And I'm really starting to find that I just watch YouTube. Well, YouTube and Hallmark. Pat says we had Dish for years and years. They did a major jump in price, and they could care less if you had been a. Yep, totally get that. Pat goes, I don't miss it. I just sew more now. There you go, girl. Jody says, aren't you supposed to eat cube steak with white gravy? I actually make cube steak with brown gravy. So I guess it just depends. It probably depends on where you were raised. Jackie says, I use Netflix the most. I'll add Disney for the girls during the summer vacation. Yeah, that makes sense. Katrina says, white gravy, it's a comfort meal. It is. It's definitely a comfort meal. Amanda says, we don't pay for streaming or cable. I haven't had a cable service. And I would binge watch TV every day. I get it. Jody says she has Hulu because it's cheaper unless you want live TV. Yep, I get that. It's crazy. All right, let's go in here and get ready for our last giveaway. Guys, this is crazy. I cannot believe it has been um, 3 hours. But I appreciate that you all joined me Christmas morning, gave me part of your holiday morning. It means a lot. It really does. I say that, and I don't know that you all really understand that it does mean a lot. I appreciate all of you. It's so fun to be able to get to hang out, get to have some fun together. When I have such a small family, I've got just my 2 kids, and of course they're back east, so I didn't get to see them for the holidays. Of course, I have my partner, which is absolutely amazing, but um, it's just fun to be able to have an extended family that just does so much. All right, last giveaway is another pattern, but this one is from Fabric Cafe. So it is the Make It Modern with 3-yard quilts, 8 new designs. I just grabbed one of these. This is actually came out April of 24. So if you don't have this book and you want it, if you will hit exclamation point cafe, CAFE. So exclamation point cafe. It does have 8. And so it's funny, right? We talked about modern quilts, and I didn't realize the modern quilts book is the one I pulled. I love watching Fran and Donna. They are so sweet. I did meet them at QuiltCon this year, and you talk about 2 amazing women. Donna was just the sweetest thing ever, and it was so fun to get to be with her a little bit in that. And their booth was so crazy busy, but you wouldn't have thought that they were that busy. She acted like everyone that came in was kind of family and all of that, and so it just was just fun. Hmm. Oh my gosh, Joy says AT&T is charging her $267 a month for one TV and internet. Yeah, girlfriend, I'd have to find somewhere else. That's just absolutely crazy. I would dump them in a heartbeat. Julie says, John, it means a lot. You hosted today. It's just hubby and I. Oh, thanks, Julie. And I appreciate you being here. I really do. It means a lot. Holly's here. Holly, I missed you coming in. Thanks for being on today. Amanda says those books are great. They are. I will say my biggest pattern collections are either Fran and Donna from Fabric Cafe or Villa Rosa, and it's just because Villa Rosa gives us the 5 patterns for $9 every month. It's just hard to beat that. Oh, Pat goes, look at all those patterns that could be Valor quilts, right? It is just amazing. Katrina goes, this has been nice, even though I've had lots of interruptions. All good. You are so appreciated. I enjoy hosting. It's always fun to get to be able to be together and celebrate a little bit. All right, exclamation point cafe. Get you registered. Let's do the last giveaway. And let's see who wins this one. Katrina, congratulations. Katrina is the winner. So for all of you that participated and won today, please send me an email over to John, John, at GuysCraft2. And like I said, we will get those mailed out hopefully in the next couple of days. Guys, I so appreciate you spending a Merry Christmas with me, allowing us to have time to be together as a family. This has been a lot of fun. It's hard to believe that it has been 3 hours. I appreciate each and all of you that joined. If you're watching it on the replay, you missed a really good time. It was a very active chat as always, but thanks for watching the replay. I'll be live again on Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Arizona time, and we'll catch up then. Have an amazing Christmas. I hope Santa was good to you. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, happy crafting.